up? My name is Damizza, producer extraordinaire, and I brought my friend
Krayzie Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony in the building.
I use just about everything. I've used everything from an MPC to SP1200 to a Lindrum to Pro Tools. Right now I'm doing most of it in Pro Tools. Use a Neumann microphone, Avalon preamp, use Neves a lot. Depending on the artist that I'm working with. Currently, I've been working with Krayzie Bone. He has an album coming out, Chasing the Devil, and we've been starting on that. But right now, the vocal chain is really simple. It's a Neumann mic, goes into an Avalon preamp through a Control 24 and into Pro Tools 10. So that's kind of how it goes. I'm using SSL plugins as far as the EQs go. I'm using an LA2A compressor, and I'm using a crystallizer actually on his voice, which is really cool because I subgroup everything, his leads and his backgrounds, and I EQ the hooks just a little bit differently. And I've actually kind of been using kind of a different thing. I don't know if you noticed, but I've been using a little different on you lately from back in the day and stuff when it was mostly just, you know, kind of putting everything kind of together in a chain and keeping it all in one bubble in the compression. But both that I noticed with you and Busy as well is the textures of your hooks and your choruses and the verses. You know, if you have a little bit more control and a little bit more, you know, less of the vocal ride in the traditional thing, you know, like I'm taking more of sections and making grids for those and kind of just taking the region and using the volumes there.
Like I'm a perfectionist, so it's like I hate when I go back and listen to my old albums because I be like, man, I should have said it like this. Yeah, you know, and it always bothered me. You know, I be like, man, I should have said it like this. If I could only do this over, you know what I'm saying? So it's like now that I know, knowing what I know now, you know, it's just like I listen to every word, like saying, making sure everything is clear, just making sure that I'm like projecting myself right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that's very important, like to have to when you're in the studio, like you gotta have emotion. Like even when you're rapping, you just it's a lot of people that sound like they just rap, they just talking when they rap, but you gotta have feeling and meaning with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I've like really taught myself is to like really like live the lyrics. So you can make the consumer will actually like fall into what you're talking about, and that's basically how you do it. I love input, you know what I'm saying? I love the input because it's like I'm always looking for somebody to be like, you know, like how that sound. You're like, is that sounding cool? Because it's like you're never too for one, you're never too old to learn new things, and you know, like it's nothing wrong with taking in constructive criticism because like it only helps you, you know, like and like I always welcome that, and I love when people like I love when you like for instance when me and you in the studio and you be like, man, let's take that back one more time and get that one more time. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being like, yeah, it sounded good, it was good, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't hear everything all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in there, like, but it's cool, like that you can have somebody in there that has the same ear that you have and know when something can be done better. So that's good.
Well, as far as, you know, hip-hop tracks go, I mean, you know, it's kind of all the, I don't mean it's all the same, but like, you know, I use a lot of native instruments, you know, massive, you know, I also use a lot of the stock sounds in Pro Tools 10, you know, I mean, there's a lot of really cool synth sounds and stuff, but yes, I always like to use some live elements, you know, and things like that. I like everything from the old 808 sounds to, you know, finding my own sounds on old records or something like that, but at the same time, you know, I like a live bass every now and then, you know, I like a live guitar, and, you know, I like you know, when you could translate those things. I mean, I was at the observatory the other night and I saw Bone play and they were playing with a band, but, you know, what was so dope about it is it translated, you know, and a lot of times, you know, when I've seen rap acts or, you know, something like that, you know, there's not a lot of melody to it. So when a band does it, it's like it's missing something without, you know, the sample or something like that. So, you know, make something that translates, have a melody, You know, make something that you know, can stick through generations. You know, I mean, when you talk like a group like Bone Thugs and Harmony, you'll always remember, you know, First of the Month and the Lick, or you'll always remember, you know, Thuggish Ruggish Bone and the Lick. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the main lead sound, and it complements the rap. And you know, the way that I kind of look at it is, you know, I do the basics, or you know, I work with like Lewis in the Stew, or Skippy, or you know, Los, or you know, any of these guys that make beats, or Jared, and you know, I love what they do, but you know, we kind of keep it to a minimal until the artist gets on it, and then we kind of tailor fit around it. You know, so I would say come up with the best idea and the best melody, and then, you know, do that. And the equipment wise, you know, anything you could play on a tin can. If it's dope, then use it. DJ Quick, Dr. Dre, Quincy Jones, Butch Vig, who did all the Smashing Pumpkins stuff and Nirvana stuff. Dang. I still believe, you know, because that was my first time, and you know, that was the first record Cray and I did together, and it was Krayzie Bone, Mariah Carey, and the Brat, but it was my very first studio session in a big studio. So, you know, everybody was so like, damn, I was green. Nate Dogg, rest in peace. Krayzie Bone. For the first time, I just worked with Busy Bone. Bone Thugs as a whole. Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Mac 10, Dub C, Korn. You know, up until recently, it was busy, you know, and what's so great about it is like I was saying from last night, Kray's working on his album, and it was the first time, you know, the first song that I did with Busy, I played for him last night, or Busy had sent it to you or something, and then we got in and actually started working on that last night. So, you know, my dream was to, you know, I'm a big Bone fan, so my dream was to work with all of Bone, you know what I mean? And now there's only one I haven't, which is Flesh.
If the beat doesn't catch me in the first 5 seconds, then you know I'm stopping it. You know what I'm saying? I really can't explain, like, because you know it's just when you hear it, you know, if you know, like, it's just something that just automatically clicks in with me. If I hear a beat, it's just like, you know how when we get back together and like we didn't even get past the like 3 tracks before I heard one and was like, yo, that one right there, let's go. It's just try to like think out the box. Just try to be different, try to be original. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people doing the same thing. Like, so if you can come up with your own sound, which is hard for a lot of people to do because everybody is so stuck on what the next person is doing. If you could be one of those that come up with your own sound, whether you're a producer or a singer or a rapper or whatever you're trying to do, then you most definitely gonna win. No matter how different it may sound, if it's put together the right way and you're doing it the right way, you're going to draw the crowd your way. So, you know what I'm saying? Never be scared to think out the box, bottom line.
You know, Nate used to say to me, play me the beat that you don't think I'd want to do. And that was always the one. And he used to say the same thing too. He goes, you know, it's like almost like channeling. You know what I'm saying? Like if the artist hears something in the first 2 seconds, Nate used to say, if I have to force it, then it's forced. It's not going to be a great song. You know, but every artist works differently. And, you know, I think with any artist, when you play a beat and they get the full picture in their head and then just fill in the words, you know, and the melodies, it's really dope to watch. But, you know, as a producer and coming up, you just got to be open to trying as many things as you can and not being afraid, you know, to do the same when it comes to other artists and stuff. You know, a lot of people, oh, I can't work with him, he's this, that, the other, you know, but you never know, you might find that hit. Yo, what's up? We on LabLifePro. My name is Damizza. This is the best place to check out all the hot stuff when it comes to being a producer. And I even brought Krayzie Bone with me, so make sure you check it out because we're going to talk that production.
That's right, LabLifePro.
And get chasing the devil. It's coming out.
Let me see it. Stick your finger in your box, then eat it. I want to see you play with the cat. What it do? Can you...